Intent does not equal, dismiss, or exonerate impact. Intent does not equal, dismiss, or exonerate impact. We see this dynamic of intent kind of clashing with impact when we have conversations with people of privilege, whether they be European, bridge, white people, or whether they be men that have been inculcated through patriarchy, whether they be heterosexual people, whether they be able-bodied people. There are all these situations where people of privilege, people with unearned power in their privilege, make statements, they create actions, they show us behaviors, and they'll always say, oh, well, I didn't intend it to be bad. I didn't intend to hurt you, or I didn't intend to do something, but they fight against being told that their impact is negative. And that's a real problem. That is another level of injury, insult to injury and injury to injury. So it's really important for people of privilege, and I will say especially white men in this society, and that could mean any society, all right? Particularly right here on Turtle Island in North America, in the land of the Wampanoag in Massachusetts and others. But people of privilege really have to be quiet when people say that their impact was different than the intent that they meant. Because, again, intent does not equal, dismiss, or exonerate impact. When something is, some action or some words are created that are harmful against a population or a people or a person targeted by racism or patriarchy or ableism, heterosexism, we have to be able to listen. We have to have compassion enough to listen, to step back and hear how we can change our behaviors, how we can make them more in line with our intent. But so many people get backed up into that because they don't want to be called out, or they don't want to be called in, literally, and they don't want to be called through their own pathologies of oppression. They want to stay comfortable in their privilege. They don't actually want the needle to move toward liberation, toward freedom and justice and cultures of compassion. They're actually not interested in that if they're going to stand there, sit there, type there, as if they're not hurting someone else when that person is saying, you're creating harm for me. So this issue of intent and impact is important when we think about privilege and when we deal with privileged populations. And we have to acknowledge also that privilege burns the eyes. It obscures the eye's ability to see, the inner eye, the third eye's ability to see. Privilege obscures and obfuscates our understanding of things, how we're able to see, how we're able to feel things. It narrows vision, and it distorts vision, and it distorts feelings. It actually makes the things that we do distorted. And that's where a lot of this negative impact comes in, with people that are already targeted by oppression. And often with these people of privilege, they carry that oppressive power and they let that loose on people. And we could say that they don't intend to, but if there's negative impact, that's not the point anymore. You have to deal with that negative impact, and you have to be able to move forward. And for people like me as an African person, who feel these impacts, these negative impacts, these distorted intents that come across as negative impacts, and they are negative impacts. We have to be able to say that. We have to be able to say that this is what's going on. We have to be honest with the people around us and say, whether they be friends or not friends, all right, whether they're close to us or not close to us, we need to be able to tell them that your impact did not match your intent, and you need to listen, you need to back off, you need to be quiet, you need to learn, okay? And that's where the compassion comes in. So many people say, oh yeah, we love and light, all that kind of good stuff. But there's so much negative impact behind people who carry that message. We're all one, okay. Yeah, we could say that on some level. But if we're not acting like we're all one, if we're not impacting each other like we're all one, then there's a problem. Then that's defining that you have a lot of work to do. And I think we all need to be able to have this conversation openly and freely and often, frequently, about intent and impact. Because intent does not equal dismiss or exonerate negative impacts. Let's talk about this.